He loved us in his own way, even as we have grown up to be what we are. We want to acknowledge him for the love he has given us. We shall not forget. And we pray that we should touch the world in the capacities he has mentored us in. The philanthropist he was. Our father, when he became the district chair of Oyam, moved out of the army, he began socializing with the civilians. Paid for a radio program called Nena Bor on Radio Unity for 10 years out of his pocket. And on that program of Nena Bor, he taught the Lao community a number of aspects of life. The social life, the economic empowerment, the cultural bit of it, the religious bit of it. And in so doing, he believed that through his sacrifice, Lao would grow and holistically be connected to the entire part of Uganda, because as Lao, we were cut off during the insurgency, and therefore we had fallen back in terms of the social aspects of life, and in so doing, he felt that his vision would be met in that direction. Recently, when he came to Parliament, he took on adopting more dependents. Another part I would like to correct in the eulogy. There are not 19 dependents, there are 27 of them. I know because we always shared at times. There are 27 of them. The students he paid for in various tertiary institutions and university were 36 of them. 1 PhD holder, 2 master's holders, and 16 bachelor holders, and the rest were diploma holders and certificate courses. That was how big his heart was. He was generous. The warrior he was. If I recall back in Parliament yesterday, I don't think I will be able to do justice beyond what the generals Mujira and Kavuma, who have been his good friends, competently submitted in Parliament. But there is a part I would like to bring out. Your Excellency, you will recall when you retired my father, or our father, you didn't sign the certificate of retirement. I always asked him, why do you position your names? Why do you say Colonel retired and not retired Colonel? He considered it a deployment. He considered his political career an opportunity you had granted him to serve the greater part of Lango. He considered that in time to come, if his political career had ended, you would always welcome him back to the family he had known. This is what we always shared. So I always wondered why Colonel retired and not retired Colonel. And some of you will acknowledge, you have always seen him use that, and it was so specific. Colonel retired. Yeah, while he left UPDF, the family he had known, he joined the reserve forces, where they welcomed him. He shared a lot with them and interacted with them. I would see. In so doing, that's why this young man is here. My father pushed him to join the army, and hoped that if he's still alive, he would try to guide him into building a better career in the military, to replace him, because he realized that he would not, the people of Lango had taken him in wholesomely, so he would never go back to the army. But he would send someone who had his blood to carry on the mantle. So he's not yet passed out. He's still in the army. He's still in the training school. Your Excellency, it's at this juncture that while the greater part of the community is pleading that my late father be granted a posthumous promotion, I'm here on my knees to plead that this gentleman should be taken under your wings and you nurture him to replace the gap, the vacuum our father has created. Now you can see how it is on the UPC ticket. That was in 2010. Then subsequently 2011. And the politics we played at home was somewhat tough. But eventually he toned down, he accepted what had happened, and I think the General Kavuma must have rubbed him well, because eventually he became appreciative, he became accommodative of me, and by the time of his death, we had reconciled our political differences. To the extent that, yes, I am here. Two, I'm in the NRM now. Two, to the extent that I'm the coordinator of the Muhoozi Kainerugaba Army project in Lao. I'm the chief coordinator. That is how the politics played out at home. A lot of you kept on talking about the politics outside, but I prefer to bring the politics at home so that you would be able to see what exactly happened, the picture of what we had at home. And some of you know how tough he was. So anyway, that was it. So at the time of his death, we were able to see through the same lens of politics, the number of issues in Uganda. And I thank God for that, because I had that time. If that wasn't the case, that wouldn't have happened. The farmer he was, Your Excellency, I would like to report that he adopted all your programs wholesomely. And the 4-acre model you have always talked about, he took it to another level. At the moment, in the whole of Lango, we have the only garden for apples. In Lango, we have the only garden for apples. We have got fish ponds that he has been working on. And at the time of his passing, he was talking to the Honorable Minister for Cooperatives to come and group the locals into a cooperative union to handle fish farming ably. He's got the dairy farming. He's got the goats, a number of things. That is how good he was. I want to sign off with 2 remarks. That my father was a very enterprising person. This most of you attested to in Parliament, and still most of you will attest to as you eulogize him. Whatsoever he laid his hands on to do, he did diligently, committedly, with a passion, and ensured there were results for it. That was who he was. Your Excellency, recently, the colleague ministers from Ministry of Gender came home and they observed my father do something that most people wouldn't want to do. Sharon is our firstborn. So during her marriage, the marriage and then the church wedding, he sat back and said, Junior, the time is now. Take on home responsibilities. Start handling issues in my presence to mentor you do it well. So at first I developed cold feet, but he insisted. In the clan, they insisted that no, you should give off the daughter. Then he said, no, Junior, do it. The colleague ministers who were there can attest to this. I did give off my sister in marriage. Little did I know that today he would not be around. And today, I'll be charged with some responsibilities in regards to her staying where she's been married. Responsibility came in a way that I didn't expect. But that day when I made my speech, I said, I thanked him very much, and I said, I thank you for acknowledging a change of guard. And I remember I made that statement and told the people that what they have seen, they have witnessed, is a change of guard. It may not have happened the way he wanted, but this is where we are. We are at it, and the responsibility finally has fallen back to me. It's only unfortunate that I didn't have more time with him to mentor me into this. But again, I'm glad because I have all of you. I'm glad I have all of you. The love you have showed us from 2nd of May to date, we pray that you do not forget it. We pray that you run by us whenever we call. For the late Machuduogo is not around. But whenever you look for Machuduogo, you will see Machuduogo in us. You will see Machuduogo in us. I have given 5 platforms I've decided to eulogize my father in. And if you look at that, here standing before you, he indirectly pushed all of us in those positions. He's the warrior my father was in the army, plus her. Incidentally, I'm the politician of the family. Incidentally. The politician and the farmer, by the way. He is a lawyer, an administrator, an engineer. So he lies on this field an accomplished man. He lies an accomplished man, and we thank God for having given him to us and the entire country, and finally seeing it fit to take him from us, because I think God must have fallen short of nice people in heaven. Wanted him to light up the place a bit. Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Thank you very much, the monarchs. May God bless us all as we travel back to our places of destiny.